What's up, Cal fans? Welcome back to another episode of the California Golden Bearcast Special Edition, Golden Tweets. Tweet, tweet! We are a proud partner of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. We are coming to you with Golden Tweets after the infamous Virginia game. So, Rob, take it away.
Well, we got 6, so definitely a far cry from the last few.
It sounded, in re-listening, in post-production, I got to listen to the intro, and it sounded spicier than I think you intended.
Yeah.
It's like we only have 4. Oh, man. It was
We
pretty
got
good.
6.
I enjoyed it.
But to be fair, if you're listening to this, the more we have, the better. Like, we enjoy this part. So, even if the game sucks, if you can write us in, we would greatly appreciate it. We'll start at the top. We'll start with Sid. Of course. Of course, we got to start with Sid.
Sid the Kid.
We're so close, so close. I can't tell if this is a coaching issue or if the players are just hitting a lull in mid-season. We need energy, and it seems like it's lacking for both coaches and players. Where do you see getting energy back?
I mean, what else can we possibly do to try and get energy to the players? I think the players are bringing energy. I think it's a coaching thing. It's like I keep going back to the Giants. It's the same thing. The Giants lost all those home games in a row, were absolutely dreadful, and it's like, yeah, all right, cool, we made a coaching change. I mean, I think it's but when I think about all of the clips that I have seen, I saw the Ron Rivera clip in the locker room and him pumping them up. I got, who was it? Marshawn in the locker room and him pumping them up. We got Wilcox coming in. Of all the people talking, Wilcox is the least inspirational. Everyone else is in there pumping up the players. I think there was UNC where it was the clip with Ron coming in and saying that, we are the effing University of California. So I don't know. I don't think that this is a hype lull or effort thing on behalf of the players. I really think that, I don't know. You remember the Harbaugh Niners team? When that team would come out onto the field, you instantly knew they had swagger because our special teams unit was dancing to the music that was playing. I will never forget that. It just, you knew that there was a baseline of a level, and I think the Niners still do it in a good way now. They bring out the big boom box and all that, but that Harbaugh team, just when you would see on kickoff and you would watch those players and you'd be like, yeah, those guys are fired up. I don't know. I think good coaching can lead to that level of confidence. I think we had an opportunity to knock off. We should be playing upset at this point. I don't think we're probably tapping into that mentality, but that's what we should be playing. And there's a lot of teams that take a lot of pride in professional sports when, they're out of it, but they're like, no, we're also going to knock you out too. We could have knocked Virginia out of the ACC championship. And I think, but I don't necessarily see the players not wanting to meet the moment. I think against UNC, I saw more energy on the sideline going into the fourth quarter. UNC, they were taking the towels, jumping up and down, spinning around their head. There's this big group. It was really noticeable. In this one, that didn't happen. It's the only thing I really noticed from an energy from a player standpoint. I mean, and Wilcox has gotten progressively more and more angry. I will say that. You can see it. He's definitely been more and more vocal, less chill, less demure. But
yeah,
I don't know.
No, I mean, there's videos of the team as they're going back into the locker room after warm-ups, and they're pumped up as hell. I don't necessarily think it's a energy hype thing, at least when to start the game. But I do think it's one of those where the energy kind of eats on itself. Not to say the players are blaming themselves or whatnot, but it's how many times can the defense go out there and generate their own energy to get stops when the offense coughs up the ball to the opposing team, after 3 downs? I think it's just the repetitiveness of it that starts to set in, and maybe that's where we get just a deflated in the third and fourth quarter. But the energy coming out is always there. I mean, I'm there on the sidelines, like seeing the team run out and all of that. Like there's no lack of energy. There was one point I think in the fourth quarter too. Actually, my mom saw this at the game. Was Ron and Wilcox both like screaming at the ref at the same time. So, like, I think they're trying to do their best with whatever they can to try and make sure they're fighting for their players. I don't think anyone should doubt that they're not fighting for their players. Like they definitely are, and they're trying to fight for it during every game. But yeah, it's just something about and that's kind of what Ron kind of said in our previous podcast, right? In the clip you played. It's just they fall into this lull and then they can't get out of it. There are games where we have gotten out of it, but like it just needs to be more consistent and maintained throughout the entirety of it.
Yeah. Easier said than done, but
it is. That's why we're not paid the big bucks to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Next one from Nkicker. He says, if Wilcox called defense, do you think results would be like Mike Elko at Texas A&M, good, Dave Aranda at Baylor, not so good, or about the same? I don't know. Would you consider Dave Aranda at Baylor not so good?
To be honest, I have not paid that much attention to Big 12 football this year.
I think there's rumors that they might fire Aranda and because they'll end 6-6, I think. But overall, it's not like his tenure at Baylor has been bad.
I'm trying to see like what their seasons looked like from a defensive standpoint. Doesn't look great, dude. They just beat UCF, but then lost to Cincy, lost to TCU, barely beat K-State, gave up a lot of points to a very hapless Oklahoma State team. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's really tough to say. At this point, we have two co-defensive coordinators. If this isn't Wilcox calling the defense, I would be somewhat surprised. Like, obviously, he's not calling each play, but it's just a weird thing to some degree. I wish I watched more A&M football. It's also not a program I watch a ton, but it would be really interesting to me if you can have like a defensive-minded head coach that can call the defense the same way like a Kyle Shanahan or any offensive head coach seems to call the offense on that side of the football.
Yeah, they give
what do you
think? It's tough. I mean, like, it's tough to analyze, particularly like play calling, because we can only look at the plays that are being called on the field. We don't know the processes that are taking place to where that play is being called. And that's the tough part. It's like, does Wilcox have a hand in this? Because if he does have a hand in this and they're like this, like just, average or slightly above average, then that's an issue. But if he doesn't have a hand in it, then it's like you have two rookie coordinators on the defensive side. You should be having a hand in it. But I can't assess that type of blame because I don't know what the processes are. But those are like the questions I definitely do have of like, which one is it?
I think someone else put this in the comments. I think there's also a bigger question out there, which is like, we're going to end up having 3 straight NFL level quarterbacks and not having an offense remotely capable enough to like ultimately like say, hey, we could have an offensive identity first football team. And I think that's a huge problem. Like, we literally had Jack Plummer, then we go to Fernando Mendoza, and then we go to Jaron, who looks like one of the best freshmen, if not the best freshman quarterback in the country. And our offense looks hapless for quarters at a time. I don't know. I do wonder if that's the argument, right? It's like you hire a coordinator, can they make the leap? Can they make the leap to being the head coach that can do a lot of disparate things in different places, like you're saying, Rob, and not lose sight of, one or two things? I mean, I don't know, right? It's just like, it's really tough for me to say without being in the building. Tedford was very involved in the offense. Very involved in the offense. Very involved with the quarterbacks. And
it's just
that's like very common as well.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing to be able to gauge is like there's factors that change that aspect of it, right? One, it's a generational change. It's like, football is not the same as it was when Tedford was coaching in the early 2000s as it is in the 2020s. And then also on top of that, it's like that's his head coaching personality, right? Like we can say we want him to meddle a bit more, but if his style is like, I let my guys like do their thing, like I don't micromanage them, that's also a managerial decision that he has to make and he has to live with. So like I understand the fans' standpoint of like he should be doing this, and maybe he should, but also like if that's his whole like MO, and when he's recruiting these assistant coaches to come in, like if that's his whole thing of like, look, like I'm kind of like a the big head coach, but I'm not going to micromanage you. Like I expect you to do your job, and that's the trust that comes with it, and that's why these guys are willing to coach under Wilcox. Then he's going to have to live with the deficiencies that come with that type of system. And as a head coach, like you have to, as much as he talks about it, like you have to self-scout yourself too, like how you manage the program and the decisions that you make. You don't want to make drastic changes because that makes it unstable. But are there moments, or have there been moments where he looks back and like, okay, I should change this? And it kind of feels like he did to a certain degree. Like he was not a person that used to go for it this much on fourth down. And he definitely has at least changed that and has been more aggressive over the last couple years. And it's something that we've been asking for and wanted him to do. So maybe it is there. It's just that the changes aren't coming as like swiftly or as broad as we might like it to be. So, all right. Next one from Teddy Bear. Besides JKS, which 5 players are most critical to retain this offseason?
I want you to start here.
Besides JKS.
I love it. The big distinguisher. Just JKS.
The easy answer
JKS.
here.
This is the only one.
I think the easy answer here is probably Luke Farrelly. At least to start.
Mason Minnie has eligibility left, right?
Mason Minnie has 2 years of eligibility left. Yeah, Mason would also be a very, very good choice here too. So that's 2.
Defensively, Manitai.
Yeah, Manitai definitely has, starting as a true freshman, has made a lot of strides. Yeah, so I'd say Manitai there as well. I don't think Jacob has another year, but it would be cool to see Jacob for another year. I'm trying to think.
He might.
Or maybe with that 5th year rule, he might.
Let me just double check on that. I didn't know.
I thought he was a senior.
Yeah, I thought he was too, but I saw something recently that made me think he might actually have eligibility. He has an extra year due to playing junior college. Oh, wait. Nope. That allows him to play in 2025. Okay.
So
nope.
he doesn't.
He does not. According to AI, and AI is wrong all the time, so.
Yeah. Looking down the roster chart. Kamani Hudson, definitely, I think for the future is one I want to keep. He's looked good in his spurts, and he's only a redshirt freshman. Ryan McCulloch for sure. If Ryan McCulloch could come back from injury and look like himself, then yeah, that's definitely the one. But I think the two easiest is because we're expecting Cade to leave. Luke Farrelly and Aaron Hampton have definitely stepped up into those spaces, and they've looked good. So those are the two guys I would want for sure. But yeah, then it gets tough because you could make some like legitimate claims of like, could you upgrade over them or would you be worse without him?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Also to add to that, it's like we haven't seen a lot of these guys play. That's the issue too. We haven't seen a lot of the freshmen and sophomores play. Oh, I had no idea Zay Smith was a senior. That would have been nice to have him for another year. But oh well. Yeah. Anyone else that we missed that you would add?
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right. Next one from Enchilada says, I would love a retrospective on your preseason predictions. Might be a fun pulse check on how much that was based on heart or brain.
That's amazing. Yeah, sure.
Is that great. A good one for now, or is that a good one for a postseason?
Oh no. Oh, you're saying like the retro? Oh, I immediately interpreted that as postseason. But if we want to do retrospective now, we can certainly do that. I'm just gonna say I was right.
Yeah, I mean, you were definitely right.
I mean, it sucks that I was right. It sucks that I was right. I literally took like, I was like, I was a broken soul. So was it emotional? Yeah, I was a broken soul. I could not do it. I could not will myself to saying anything other than 6-6. I could not do it. And like, it sucks that I'm right, or it sucks that it's trending that direction and like looking very likely could even be worse.
Yeah.
Like that is not fun for me and I think that's the thing with the season that I have been most frustrated by is I have no business. Look, I pay certainly a good amount of attention to Cal football and have for the last 2 decades of my life. But should I be calling games down to the exact game script and like points and point prediction? Like the Duke game point prediction thing where I like almost nailed exactly what the score was. Then against UNC, it was like, oh yeah, that's like, I know what type of game this is going to be. Then against Virginia Tech, like it just got really weird for me. I talked to my dad before the Virginia Tech game and I was like, this is what I think is going to happen. And then after the game, he's like, I saw him the next day. He's like, what the hell? And then same thing with Virginia, right? It's like, I think we said on the pod last week, this is going to be a competitive football game. Don't expect us to get blown out. We're going to have a chance to win this. I do believe that Cal can win the game. I mean, we had all the opportunity in the world to win that football game. Yep. But like the part of me that says like that shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't be that predictable. It shouldn't be that vanilla. And so I feel the same way about my prediction. My prediction was me not trying to be emotional. It was me trying to be rational and saying, I've been emotional about this. I've gotten excited about this because of all of the same reasons that anybody else that's either listened to this podcast, cared about the program, or followed Cal football in the Wilcox era, which is you're like, that guy is incredibly smart, driven, and I really want to see him succeed. And I think we have been there the whole time, if not at the front of the line. And this year was like the first year where I had to step back and just say, prove it, right? Like that's what it was. It was a prove it prediction. And it just is really disappointing. I think now looking back on that and saying seeing how right that was. I think, Rob, didn't I say that we were going to go like some ridiculous, like maybe even like 6-0 and then go 6-6? Like it's not that far off from having been that case.
I mean, like, it's looking like we're going 5-1 and then 1-5.
Yeah. So that is absurd. I just don't think it should ever be that formulaic.
And yet, it's like the meme from Oppenheimer, right? It's paradoxical, yet it works.
What about you? I mean, how do you feel? How do you feel?
I mean, my predictions before the season are always more on the heart than they are the brain, right? Like, I'm not going to necessarily say it's 100% heart and 0 brain, but it usually skews like 80% heart, 20% brain. Because then there's no fun in it if I'm only thinking about it rationally with my analytics brain on for what I expect Cal football to be. And no one's really going to come here to ask for what is your like real like analysis on it. We're having fun here a little bit too. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks. It sucks that it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to turn out in that regard of a higher ceiling. But I think we all knew going into the season, one way or another, we were going to get closure on particularly this era of Cal football. And that's kind of what it's trending towards. So, like, I think that's why this season wasn't as stressful for me, is because it just felt like a season where we were going to get answers. And
yeah,
clearly, like that's becoming the case right now. Sound fair?
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Yep. All right, cool. Next one from Adams. The same problem showed week after week. Wilcox sees it just as we're seeing it. Whatever the message from the coaching staff, it's not landing with the team and making any team difference clearly. Even Wilcox seems to know it's over. I mean, if I'm going to read the tea leaves into it like heavily, like, yeah, Wilcox looked definitely more resigned in his post-game conference after the Virginia loss than I've ever seen him in a press conference. So, I mean, did I send you the tweet? Did I send you the video of that very egregious question that was asked to the players?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if we want to talk about that, but yeah, I think it's clear that those questions are starting to be had, and to what degree in the building, who knows? But at least in the outside world, beyond the building, those conversations definitely are the topic of choice.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. We've all had a bad day at work, so about the question and all that, but yeah, I mean, I knew Adams was going to come in here, and I think Adams and I have seen this for too long, and I don't want to speak on his behalf, but it's certainly been I'm sure, as we said before, right? It's like super frustrating from us on the outside, and I'm sure it's super frustrating for those that are on the inside. And it kind of sucks because, like, we want this to work, and it just isn't right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Last one from Cal Bears Degenerate fan. A lot of people are talking about the coaching and players, but what we need is a lot more money. I'm sure some programs get away with more wins with less, but ultimately it's going to come down to how much money can we raise until the crowds return and revenues increase. It hit the nail on the head, in my opinion.
No, I mean, I think this is a great call out. This is fundamental to my Stanford doom talk, where I think that ultimately, they're going to be. It's super true as long as what Ron says doesn't end up happening. As long as the 70-30 exists, so there's the 70% abiding by the rules and the 30% who don't. So there's the have and the have-nots. As long as we're in, there's going to be the have and have-nots. This is priority number one. We see it on a professional level, and it's going to be the same thing in college. So I think this is an amazing point. It's like money will win out above anything else. And unless you just really strike it right with a coach that has an excellent system, that doesn't necessarily need the same caliber of players to execute. But that seems like a true needle in a haystack hire. So until then, yeah, I don't know who needs to get rich or who is there. I know Jared signed a nice contract. But yeah, we got to get those donations in. Like, we have to get those donations in order to be competitive. Whether doesn't matter who's coaching the team.
I think, the point that I've tried to hammer, at least the last couple of weeks, with, just the unrest of the fandom with the results of the football games, like I understand you're upset. I understand, like, you want to see change. But you can have those conversations of, I'm not going to support this team, financially or by showing up to games, after the next 5 years. Because the crux of the matter is that realignment is probably happening within the next 5 to 6 years. And if we're not competitive enough by then, we're probably going to get left behind like we almost did this past cycle. And in order to alleviate that, like, we need all hands on deck. Like, we need people at games. We need people to donate. Like, all of that is all part of it. And if we do that and we still get left behind in realignment, then most of us are probably going to be like, well, that sucks. And a lot of fans are no longer going to be fans because, we couldn't rise to the occasion overall and keep ourselves relevant enough. But until then, like, that's the thing that Ron's trying to change, is like, we need buy-in from everybody until that point comes. And it's not that far away. It's not like they're asking for like a 10-year investment or a 20-year investment and be like, it'll come, guys, it'll come. But like, it's like just the way the contracts work with TV deals, it's like, it's right there.
Yeah.
So if we're not relevant by then, like, then, we're done for anyways. So we might as well, like, as fans, try and invest as much as we can to keep this thing from surviving. Once we're survived and like alive, then we can, you do whatever you want. Like, be like, yeah, I'm not gonna, if the coach sucks, then be like, yeah, I'm not gonna come out to games until we have a coaching change. Like, that's all fine. I think I'm just saying, like, right now isn't the time to die on that hill, because that hill might get bulldozed.
Yeah.
You might not have an opportunity to die on that hill anymore if we don't survive the next 3 to 5 years.
No, what I like about that is, like, we have a pulse. Like, what you're saying, to say exactly what you said, but it's like, literally, like, we have a pulse right now. So while you have the pulse, fight for your life. And then if we eventually don't, we don't. But like, you're 5 years from now going to be like, well, at least we gave everything we possibly could towards sort of surviving this, and like, there were bigger things at play that we couldn't get around. I am fine. I won't be thrilled, but I'm fine accepting that as the reality, if that is the path that this goes. But where it would be a lot harder to swallow is if we had the opportunity and wasted it because we were behind in our thinking on football's importance as a university, or we were, checking out of a program at the time when it needed us most. I think that is why these next few years are super important. So when people said they need distance, I'm like, yeah, I get it. Take your distance, take a game off, but don't let go of those season tickets. Like, I'll be there next year too. And, don't do the things that pull away and detract. But yeah, if you want to miss a game because you've been going out every single year and you're tired of being, disappointed, like, I get it. Miss the game, go do something else. But like, yeah, show up to the next one after that. It's just a matter of we can't throw in the towel right now on this program when it needs us most.
Exactly, and poignantly said. There's a lot more conversations that we're gonna have in the next few weeks to months. It's going to be very interesting. There's going to be a lot of discussions between you and I. There's going to be a lot of discussions with, hopefully we get some guests on here to talk about said discussions as well. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, it's football season still in full swing. There's only one more month of college football left, like real college football, and then it's playoff and bowl season. So enjoy it while it lasts. We don't get many of these. But that's it, Andy. Those are all the golden tweets.
All right.
Woohoo!
Well, take us home, Rob. Take us home.
Well, that wraps it up for us here on the Golden Bearcast. If you're listening to us, you already found us. You can find all our written stuff over at RefreeCalifornia.com. You can email us, goldenbearcast@gmail.com. You can also tweet at us at goldenbearcast. And that's it. Whenever you're listening to this, we'll see you at Headlands on campus for the Louisville Game Day Watch at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And outside of that, as always, go Bears.
Go Bears.
Some things in life are just made for each other. Peanut butter and jelly, macaroni and cheese, Modelo and college football. College football season is Modelo season, and the season has officially kicked off. The Modelo Recruiter is back in action, looking to reward full-time fans who give their all for their team and their school week in and week out. If you're listening to this, you've been recruited. So lace them up and get out there. And don't forget to make time for a well-deserved ice-cold reward, because college football wouldn't be the same without you. So grab yourself a Modelo and enjoy, the official beer sponsor of the College Football Playoff, Modelo.